The champion hurdle, of course, Binocular. Everyone seems to be saying that he's one of the bankers of the meeting. Couch, what is your view that some think he should be an odds-on shot?
I don't think he should be an odds-on shot, Bob. I do think he'll win. He was very, very impressive when he won at Ascot. He slaughtered Celestial Halo and Catch It and Crackaway Jack. If you want to lay one in the race place, I don't know what Crackaway Jack's doing at 12 to 1. He should be 50 to 1 as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what he's done to be that price. Binocular, hugely impressive again at Aintree last year where he beat Celestial Halo. Nicky Henderson, the same sort of horse as C, who then's brought it along. It's a different horse this year when I see it in the paddock at Ascot to what it was at Cheltenham last year. It's a good second behind Captain Seaby as a 4-year-old. Line of form with Celestial Halo gives it the beating of Osana, who Celestial Halo beat at Sandown. And I think and also run well at a big price is Century Duty. Nicky Henderson's possibly third string, who Nicky thinks is now better off fresh. It hasn't won since it won at big handicap hurdle at Ascot in December.
And he walloped Celestial Halo last year.
He did it at Doncaster. He had all the form sort of ties in that. I think Binocular will win. I think he's a good horse.
Matt, your views on the first two home last year. Captured, of course, won. He went to the race probably in better form than he is this year. Asana was second. How do you see them running?
I don't fancy either of them at all, to be honest. Catch It, I think he's had his day. He was always a little horse. I don't think he's got the scope to progress. They're talking about possibly running him in blinkers this time around. Can't have Catch It on my mind. I mean, he's 100 to 1 on recent form, isn't he? He's only that price because he won it last year, back form. Crackaway Jack equally. Buzz Horse, Racing Post started doing features on it at the start of the year. Everyone, therefore, started looking at Crackaway Jack, but he's 100 to 1 on recent form. Asana, I mean, we've never been told why he took so long to come back, but there was clearly a problem with him. He's got, not for me, a chance of winning this time around, and also he's got the problem with the possible bounce factor, 2 relatively quick runs after a big layoff. Celestial Halo's always been not quick enough for 2 miles and hasn't got the stamina for 3 miles. He needs a Ryanair hurdle, Celestial Halo. So I think you stick to your solid 2 milers here. I think there are a couple who are decent prices, which everyone's heard of, I hasten to add, but they are decent prices. I mean, Binocular, I think, will win. There's been a buzz about this horse ever since it first ran. If anyone was at Ascot, the very first day it won, when Fitzy was on board, the bookmakers were going around the track all morning just saying, this will win this afternoon. Michael Bell had a relatively promising horse in the race, but the only horse they ever wanted to know was Binocular. It's been the same ever since. McCoy thinks it's the real deal, and that should be enough for most people. If the ground was good or just on the soft side of good, I do think Sublimity is the horse that has the turn of foot that could give Binocular something to do. I mean, if you forget about his fourth last time, which was in sort of Somme-like conditions, which were never going to suit him, he hasn't done actually much wrong. He came back well this season. He is a champion hurdler. He's got the turn of foot of a flat horse. Of course, great horse, decent Group 3 horse for Sir Michael Stout. So I think at 16, Sublimity is too big a price, provided it's not heavy. And Sizing Europe, I mean, he was, for me, 10s on coming down the hill last year. He had his problem with his back, his sacroiliac, so they say, whatever that is, no one really knows. And he's had problems since now. Henry de Bromhead's a very posh lad, and he's a good trainer. But he has a problem with the Potsy man who owns this, in that Potts is a difficult owner, and they're absolutely convinced this horse is relatively slow over 2 miles and needs to be kicked on because it stays strong. Whereas I'm absolutely convinced it needs to be ridden by Archibald. And I think Dennis O'Regan might be the kind of jockey to suit Sizing Europe. If he's got a back problem, he's going to be no good anyway. But if he arrives fit on the day, he's got the class, I think, to certainly give you a good run at 22 to 1 if you're looking for a big price. There are others in here, I think, as well. Jared. I mean, don't know what Noam Mead does to his horses, but, I mean, Jared, Archibald, Iktitaf, Muirhead, Jazz Messenger. I mean, why do they all have to win on the bridle? I don't know. It's either the way he trains them or the way the jockey always rides them. But, I mean, I can't be having any of those. So I think it's easy to rule out Ashkazar. Well, we'll back him for the Arkle next year. But other than that, I don't think there's much in it. So I'd have Binocular as my win bet, and I'd probably go Sublimity and maybe also Sizing Europe as a bit each way in the rest.
Just finishing off the champion, let's go to Kieran, saying that he wasn't very impressive in that gallop at Kempston. What's your view? I mean, there's been talk about him maybe faltering up the Cheltenham Hill.
Yeah, I think I can't sit here and say what he's going to do at the Cheltenham Hill. I think that is the unanswered question that remains. I think if this race was taking place at Ascot, I think it'd genuinely be an 8 to 11, 4 to 6 chance. I think he's that far ahead of the field. I think the Champion Hurdle as a race has been really, really weak for the last 3 or 4 years. It hasn't been a strong division at all. We've been crying out for a champion. I think we've probably got one in binocular simply because you can't make a case for, or a strong enough case as far as I'm concerned, for any of the others. But I think it's one of those races, as the guys have alluded to, really, that it's been done to death, the race. If you haven't had a bet now, you're probably unlikely to have one, because I think the market's about bang on. I think any edge that was there probably went weeks ago. It's just one of the big races do suffer from being the festival hype. I think the likes of the Champion Hurdle, they're bang on with a month to go.
Andrew, can you find some value there?
Yeah, the one I like at a price is Jared. He was only third on his hurdles debut behind Captain Seaby at Punchestown last term, but since then he's won 5 from 6 on anything but heavy ground, and he was second by a head in the other. He travels supremely well. Now, I know Noel Mead hasn't got a brilliant festival record, but when he does have winners there, and that's rarely, they've usually been off the track for a while, and this one's been off for over 3 months. So Jared's around about 25 to 1, maybe a little bigger on the exchanges. For me, he's the only value left in the race.